Hey, what's up guys, Enan here from Udroid Mania, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on this QHD display, so let's get to it. Alright, so it says here it comes with the LG G3, the lithium ion battery, the charger, a USB data cable, a secure element SIM, and a quick start guide are all inside of the box. Now I actually think that LG did a nice job on the packaging here, except for the fact that AT&T has a dent in my corner. But I'll give them a pass on that this time. And as long as I've been waiting for this phone, I gotta tell you that I like the fact that it's the first thing you see when you open the packaging here. And it looks really good too, guys. It feels great. So I'll set that off to the side here and we'll take a look and see what else is inside of the box. Now first up, we have the quick start guide here. And that's pretty standard material. I don't think that I'm gonna need to read that since I've had other LG phones, so I'll just set that off to the side as well. And then next, we have the product safety and warranty information. And again, this is something that I know I'm not going to be reading, so I'll set that off to the side. And here's the USB 2.0 charging cable. And I do remember reading in one of the forums that this actually charges pretty fast with this phone, so I will be sure to check that out in the full review. Next up, we've got the 3000 milliamp battery, and I like the fact that that's swappable. How many of you guys out there actually carry a spare battery? I've never had one myself, and I'm just curious to know. And finally, we've got the standard power brick. So I'll put that off to the side and we'll get to what we've all been waiting for, the LG G3. And I gotta tell you guys, even though this phone has a plastic housing, it really feels nice in the hand. So let's go ahead and start by removing the back cover so that we can get the battery in and boot this thing up. Removing the cover is actually not so bad, guys. I feel like it's a lot easier than the Galaxy S5. And maybe that's because this phone isn't waterproof. Now that we've got the back cover off, let's take a look inside, and you can see here that my SIM card's already inserted. I did that while I was at the AT&T store. Inserting the battery's pretty easy. Remove the plastic wrap here. And then make sure that you guys have the connectors lined up. And then press down. It's that easy. Once you have that all set, then you can go ahead and replace the back cover. And you put that back on the same way you guys took it off. Pressing down on all the corners and the sides and making sure that everything snaps back in place. And if you've never done this before, just don't get intimidated. It's not that bad. Taking a look at the back of the phone, you'll notice that LG has done away with the raised buttons on the volume rocker and the power button's more flush. Along the top of the phone, you've got an IR blaster and a noise canceling microphone. Swinging around to the bottom of the phone, you'll notice that there's the 3.5mm headphone jack, a noise canceling microphone, and your USB 2.0 port. On the rear of the phone, we have the 13 megapixel camera, the dual LED flash, and the laser sensor. So let's go ahead and do my favorite thing, which is removing the plastic film from the front of the phone and boot the phone up. And I've been watching and waiting and watching and waiting for weeks, guys, and I can't tell you how excited I am to finally have this phone in my hand. I mean, a QHD display? Wow. When we talk about eye candy for tech, I mean, if this isn't eye candy, then I don't know what else is. This display has gotta be brilliant, and I for one can't wait to see. Alright guys, and first look, what do you think? This phone is packing 534 pixels per inch in its 5.5 inch display. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's super sharp, and I can't wait to put this phone up against my HTC One M8, my Galaxy Note 3, and the Samsung Galaxy S5. Oh, and I can't forget about my Sony Xperia Z2. I mean, that was my favorite phone until last week when I got the G3. I mean, they keep making them and I keep buying them. LG has made some improvements to the Optimus UI, and I gotta say guys, it's pretty nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the camera, test out that laser focus that they have here. It's supposed to be super fast. And just by tapping on the screen, it does take a shot. In terms of quality, I guess we'll just have to check that out in the full review. I'll let you guys know exactly how this camera fares out. And if you haven't seen my video on how to get unlimited storage for your photos on G+, I'll leave that link down below in the description. It's a 2-minute quick tip, so make sure you check it out. So far, what I see here, the photos actually look pretty nice. They seem pretty sharp, and again, we'll take a closer look at these when I do the full review, guys, so just hang in there and we'll get to that shortly. So now would be a good time to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As I'm scrolling through the app drawer, I really don't notice any lag. Everything's lightning fast here. And given that everything that LG does in the UI here, this phone doesn't seem to be bothered by it in the least bit. Just based on my first impressions of this phone, I would go so far as to say this phone is leaps and bounds over the G2. I mean, check this out guys, it even handles the most graphic intensive web pages. Load times seem to be pretty fast. I didn't see any stutter or noticeable lag. And as I'm scrolling here guys, everything seems buttery smooth. Zooming in to get a better look at the quality of the printed text here on the web page. Looks really nice. I think I'm really going to enjoy this phone. And one of my favorite things is actually going to be watching movies on this phone. I mean, with a screen like this, who wouldn't? Now, I don't want to spoil it before I actually get into the review here, so I'm just going to give you guys a glimpse of what the screen can do. One thing I really like about this phone, given that it has such slim bezels, is the fact that it's got such a small chin on it. And you'll notice on the back here that we've got a 1 amp loudspeaker. Now, this would have been great if it were stereo speaker, so we'll have to test that out and see if we get good quality there. We've got a 2.1 megapixel front-facing camera, and I love the fact that you don't have to actually tap the screen to take a photo. Overall guys, I think we've got a pretty solid phone here. I think that LG, unlike Samsung, is actually listening. They've addressed most of the issues that we've complained about and given us a phone that we've been looking forward to. Did we need a QHD display? Yes, yes, and for me, yes. Alright guys, so there you have it. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next one.